with Sunshine. Today I was feeling like let's bring in some magic. So basically, the card deck I'm using is basically you make a wish, and whatever message comes through on the card is basically just gonna help you kind of manifest that in your life faster. It's kind of basically putting a different perspective on how to bring that in. So, for those of you who don't know, it does take around 24 to 48 hours for the timestamps to be available. But I do have in the description box below the order I'm going to be reading these, the Zodiac order I'm going to be reading for today. So let's get into it. Okay. Ooh, that felt good. Okay, so the first sign we are going to do today is Sagittarius. Ooh, so what a beautiful card. I am grateful and I am blessed. So, when it comes to your manifestations and when you think about the thing that you're wishing for and you're dreaming for, when you embody that energy of already being in the happiness, that's how you tap yourself into or get yourself into that frequency, which allows you to attract it more. When it comes to the abundance that you're looking for, at the end of the day, when you really think about all the things that we could want, if it's like a car or a job or a relationship, the end thing is because that thing is going to make you happy. So if you can get into the happy energy now, it's how you actually get onto the frequency right away. So with this card, I feel like it's like if you were to think about a radio station, you cannot hear what's going on if you're on the wrong channel. And getting into that energy of feeling blissful, feeling abundance, just feeling so blessed for what you currently have and what's on its way to you is going to help you attract this in faster. So we're going to move on to the next sign, which is Cancer. So we have here, dance the rainbow. I love to have beauty in my life. Wow, look at that beautiful rainbow there in the background. Ah, this is such a beautiful card. We have here the water, the mountains. I feel like this card is telling you about tapping into that energy of fun. When you think about it, little kids, when it's raining, they don't care about how messy they'll get. They'll go and they'll stomp in the puddles and they'll stomp in the rain and they'll just go and they'll have fun. I feel like this card is reminding you to bring in your manifestations is to find ways of making it fun and exciting. Like, if you're looking for a relationship, make it fun. When you go out to the store, be like, oh, maybe it could be them or it could be that person. Or I could see them, tomorrow. Or maybe it's going to be at the coffee shop. Or maybe we're both stopped at the stop sign, and we look over and we glance at each other. Like, try different ways of making it fun for whatever it is that you're trying to bring in. I feel like if you bring in the more fun and remember the beauty that the universe has all around you. If it's in regards to, it seems like the subject is love. So I'm going to say another example for that. Think about all the love you do have around you currently from friends and family and all the things that you have that are on that same frequency, and tap into that more. It's going to help you a lot. So I love that it's like dance in the rainbow. And if you think about the rainbow, it comes after there's a whole bunch of rain that comes through. So you might have been in a time where you've been feeling a little bit heavy. Maybe there's been some tears or something like that. But just know that there, at the end of this is the rainbow, okay? We're going to move on to the next sign, which is Aquarius. So we have here time capsule. I have the confidence to be myself. Okay, so Aquarius, have you been feeling like you haven't been able to live in your authentic self, in your authentic skin, feeling like you have to hide away your talents or hold back from being who you truly are? In order for you to manifest the things that you are trying to obtain in this life, it comes when you start to naturally be you. And I don't feel like you're necessarily not being yourself, but there's something in you. It feels as if it's maybe a talent or a gift that you're just not showing to the world. Maybe only a few people know, or no one knows at all. If you think about it, say example, you're an artist. You can paint all day long, but if you hide those art pieces in a garage, who's gonna ever see it? The world needs to see whatever talent or whatever gift you have. So find different ways where you can be more of who you are. And when you get into that abundance, you're going to feel so much more happy because you're being yourself. And that's how you're going to attract more of what you want. So we're going to move on to the next sign, which is Taurus. So we have here, let the leaves go. I can let go of what I no longer need. And I love this image where you have here, like, kind of like that spiral of the leaves. I feel like when you think about the fall energy, you know, when it comes to that season and the leaves are all falling off the tree is not afraid that the leaves won't come back. It knows it's going to come back in the next season. It knows it has to let go of the old in order for the new to blossom and come in. So there's something that you're holding on to that is actually blocking your blessings from coming in. This abundance that you want to obtain, there's something that you're holding on to. And once that is released, then you're going to open up the energy in that space to bring in more of this abundance. Now, I know it's not always easy to let things go, but the sooner you do this, the sooner you're going to feel more light. You're going to feel more free. You know, when you look at these leaves just blowing around, it's in such a beautiful imagery of how they're portraying it, where it's allowing the process to happen. So we're going to move on to the next sign, which is Pisces. Ooh, we have here the wishing tree. My wishes grow big like a tree. I love how I was just talking about a tree too. So, when it comes to the dreams and the wishes that you're having, Pisces, I feel like the reason why you got this tree card is when you think about planting a tree, it takes time for it to get to this big magnitude. Okay, so when whatever you're putting in time and effort towards this dream, you have to understand that there is certain time frames where it's going to have to go through. Now listen, I don't even like to have to wait for things, and maybe you're the same, but there is a time and a process that comes through, because if you go to dig up that soil before it's ready, then you just messed up what happened of what you planted. It's the same way for this process of whatever this abundance, this wish that you're attaining to. Just know that this card is saying you've done the work, you're on track, you planted the seed. It is going to blossom and it is going to be big and beautiful like what you want, but there is a process and a time that's coming through here. I really like the fact of there's also like these glitters and stuff that's showing on the tree here. And I just want to say, like, it's like a reminder of, remember your magic and what you have the ability to actually bring into your life. You are a magical person. Okay, so tap into that energy and that frequency. But this thing that you've been working on, it's going to reap the rewards you want. It's just a matter of you continuing on this process. Okay, they've heard your wish. So we're going to move on to the next sign, which is Virgo, and we have it, freeze it. I freeze what I no longer want. Okay, so I feel with this card, there is a sense of I'm getting some coldness from the card, and I feel like there's something you're like, I don't need this anymore. It doesn't serve me. I no longer want to have this vibration, this thing, this person, this place, whatever it is in my life. If you haven't gotten to that point, there is something that you're going to actually let go. Now, if you look here, this is like, looks like it's like a whole bouquet of flowers. Think about how beautiful the flowers were when before it was frozen. And I feel like whatever this thing was, it did give you some sort of happiness at the time, but it's no longer giving you the happiness now. And it's time for you to let it go. So for those of you that are still holding on to something, the moment you let it go, your abundance is going to come through. And for those of you that have already or are currently going through the process of letting this thing go, just know that you are on the right track. This was the right decision, because this is what's clearing away that negative energy, that lower energy, so your abundance can come in and attract faster into your life. So this is a really good sign coming through for you. We're going to move on to the next card. Sorry, the next zodiac sign. And the card is for Leo. And we have here, build a fairy house. There is magic everywhere. So when you think about a house, okay, if the foundation isn't proper, the house is not going to sit well. Okay. The house is going to be lopsided. Things are going to be out of place. And I feel like this card is reminding you that the foundation is as important as the rest of the things that are in the house. So whatever this thing is that you're trying to attract, it feels as if it's something that you're building. Okay. Don't try to cut through any steps. Okay. They're all very important. And you'll see at the end of it, you'll have this beautiful home, this beautiful project, this beautiful thing that's going to come out of it. Now, sometimes it can be a little daunting to go through each step and have to do all these little things, but the reward that's going to come out of this is just going to be so beautiful. So continue on this path. Your abundance and your manifestations of the wish that you're looking for is coming through for you. But remember, each step is very, very important. So we're going to move on to the next sign, which is Libra. And we have here, ooh, I love this happy card. Okay, so it says, I am enough. Understanding that there's things that has happened to us, whether it's the environment of the people we had around, the things that we grew up with, the things we watch on TV or society has portrayed, has sometimes made us think that we're not enough. And this card is reminding you that you are enough to have this abundance. You are enough to have this wish come through. You are enough to have the things that you want. Okay. I feel a lot of loving energy coming through for her. The way that she's holding on to this heart, you have a lot of abundance to give, but I feel like there's a sense of her holding on tightly to it. It's almost like you're holding on to the beautiful parts about you, the beautiful gifts that make you who you are. The more that you are your abundant self, the more that you're going to be vibrating on this beautiful abundance energy. And that same energy is what's going to attract the things that you've been wishing for. So don't hold on too tightly. People need to see or hear or whatever it is that you have this talent. They need this gift. Okay. The longer you hold on to it, the longer that people are not going to be able to have it. The world needs to hear what you have to say or whatever it is that you want to put out into the world. It's like, I feel as if you're putting them at a disadvantage because you're not putting it out there. Remember, you are enough and you can have what you want in this lifetime. Okay. So we're going to move on to the next sign, which is Geminis. Oh, we have here a little puppy. It says, happy magic for pets. Animals are my friends. I am kind and loving to them. Ooh, so I love the fact of there's like this gate behind this puppy. And I feel like you're entering a new stage, a new chapter and a new path in your life. And I feel like you're going to be doing it more with a gracing, loving energy. When you think about a puppy, for anyone that doesn't like puppies, but the ones that do, they're cute. They're so playful. They're so nice. They're just so adorable. You just want to eat up all that happiness and all that abundance. And I feel like you have that beautiful softness inside of you. And it is amazing. But this new chapter that you're going to be entering in for this abundance, this wish that you're heading towards, I feel like it's a reminder to also give yourself that passion and graceful energy and remember that when you enter a new chapter and you head through something new, that there is going to be times where you could get frustrated. But that's all happens to everyone. When we are embarking something new, there is going to be a time when you get frustrated because it hasn't happened yet or you haven't learned it yet. But when you think about it, when you learn to ride a bike, there was a stage when you kept falling, and there was a stage when you had, the little extra wheels on the end of it so you could, stay balanced. But eventually, as you kept going, you were able to have your balance. You took off the training wheels and you were able to ride the bike. It's the same thing of this process that you're entering in. So be kind and graceful to yourself. There's a lot of loving energy that is around you and a lot of loving energy you have within yourself on this new journey that you're entering. But I feel like you already kind of know what this is because the door is open. So you are very open to receiving this abundance. Keep following your intuition and keep heading towards that because the abundance is around the corner and I love it for you. Oh, I love that. So we're going to move on to Scorpio and let's see. We have here flying broom. I can let go of my mistakes. Yes, Scorps, come on. You have the gift and the power to control what thoughts you have and understand that who really said this was a mistake, you know? And even if it is still somehow considered a mistake, why can't we just let it go? Why can't we just move on? There's all these things in society or even in our mental space that can make us feel like we're a failure and we can't go. And I actually heard on a video the other day where someone was like, you could never fail if you continuously to be persistent. And I love the way that that sentence kind of just like screamed out to me because it's true. I'm not failing if I continue to keep going and going and going and keep going until I get it. When you think about who invented, the light bulb, I believe it was like 10,001 and then he got it. Can you imagine if he gave up after the 10,000th time? You know, the light bulb may have not been invented at that moment, so it's the same process of don't let mistakes and failures hold you back from getting the abundance and really attracting this into your life. There's a wish and there's a thing that you want, but these mistakes being on replay is what's holding you back from bringing in your abundance. These things no longer serve you. When you think about a broom, it's time for you to clean up. It's time for you to clean up all these negative things. Yes, you did the best that you could in that moment. And if you feel like it's a mistake, fine, accept that. But you do not need to carry that with you going forward. It's time for you to carry a new belief. Like, it didn't work out. I now know more than I did back then. And now I can move forward and take different actions and different steps. So we're going to move on to the next sign, which is Aries. So we have here paper airplanes. Oh, I remember making these as a kid. We have here, I am free to make my wishes come true. Can you, oh, this reminds me so much of like, you remember when you were a kid and you could find or make fun out of anything, okay? I mean, before the generation of all this technology and these tablets, we would literally go outside and just play and have fun all day, doing nothing or making up our own imagination. We would take a piece of paper, make it to an airplane and have an airplane fight or airplane battle or whatever it was. We would take rocks and we would hit them and all kinds of stuff goes on and play tag and the list goes on. But I feel like this card is reminding you that you can create the life that you want. You have the ability, you have the talents, you have the gifts. Bring back the fun, bring back the playfulness, so it allows you to take away the resistance of feeling like you cannot obtain this because you do have the beautiful gift. And I love the fact that this is also outside. I'm feeling very drawn that maybe if you could connect with nature a little bit more, meditate outside, it might be very helpful for you. But I feel like there is a sense of you being more free on this approach of what you are trying to manifest, what you are trying to bring in, this wish that you are focusing on. Take away the intensity from it. Find different ways of making it more fun and playful. And maybe sometimes when you're feeling like I've been putting in hours and hours towards this and it's not going the way I want it, take a break. Go do something fun and come back in a new energy, okay? Find different ways to stay on that higher vibration while you're pursuing this wish and this dream, okay? So we're going to move on to the next sign, which is Capricorn. So we have here candle magic. Every day things get better. Ooh, I love these candles. They're so beautiful. And there is 5 candles here. So I feel like with this card, it's when you think about, numerology and the number 5, for me it represents that change as well as there's a challenge. Now, the challenge doesn't necessarily have to be something that's too intense, depending on how you look at it, okay? Through everything there has to be a change, right? When you think about a caterpillar going towards becoming a butterfly, it has to shed away all those things. It's actually a pretty intense process, to be honest, but when you think about the beautiful outcome that comes out of it, it's amazing. I love the fact that even with these candles here, they're all at a different stage, at a different length in its process. And I feel like you've been putting in some time and some energy into toward building something. With this card where it says every day things get better, it's like if your day is not going so right, it's okay. Maybe today was just one of those days, but it can get better. It can shift. I've had times where my day didn't start right and I'm just on this, negative energy. And then I just remind myself, you know what? This morning wasn't so great, but doesn't mean this afternoon has to be bad. I can shift my energy and find ways to bring in abundance. And Abraham Hicks actually talks about that it only takes 17 seconds. And just for you to change your vibration and the pattern you're on, just taking that second to really stop and be like, you know what? That's what it was. I'm going to find different ways that I can be more happy and how I can bring more happiness to the rest of my day. Okay, so whatever you're going through, giving you lots of love, giving you lots of hugs and stuff, but know that your day can get better. It's just a matter of shifting your mental space. Now, shifting your mental space may not change the outcome of what has happened, but it can change your mood and your energy for the rest of the day. Okay, and that's very important for you because it's going to keep the hope alive and the faith alive that your wish and your dream and the abundance that you want is obtainable. Okay, guys, we're gonna leave it at that. Many blessings. Thank you so much. Until next time, bye.